What is an industry secret in the field you work in? I design slot machines for casinos. Don't play slots. Managed boarding and grooming kennels for 8 years. The secret is that the employees actually do love your pets too. Even the difficult ones. Most of us realize they just miss their people. The number of times I've wept when a pet died. Or spent way too many hours comforting a dog with separation anxiety. Or spent hours off the clock with a boarder who needed to be rushed to a vet office. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Some pets just suck though. Not gonna lie. I am a server. No matter how much we insist it is okay that you are keeping the entire restaurant open after we have closed, please know we're 100% lying. We will get fired if we deviate from anything other than pure delight that you are keeping us from going home. We dread it. Please do not believe us. If you go out to eat later in the evening, ask when the place closes. If the answer is that they close in 20 minutes or less, turn around and walk your ass back out the door. Chances are you can find a different restaurant that keeps later hours to go eat at instead of trapping the staff in this restaurant into getting off work really late. I am an attorney. The secret is shut the duck up. Think like a fish. It is much harder to get caught if you don't open your mouth. Vodka is really cheap to make. The glass bottle costs more than the juice. Most of it is garbage. The really expensive ones you see pushed at the clubs are literal trash. They're only bottled and advertised nice because the clubs and vodka companies are working together. The clubs buy the vodka for what it is actually worth, in massive bulk, and they price the absolute duck out of it as high quality vodka. Then the vodka makers can sell it in stores to the public. Also hugely uppriced compared to quality because people think it is good stuff. Grey Goose and Belvedere are absolute garbage and they're barely better than plastic handles. Tic-Tac, Stolly, Kettle One. Stick to those. I used to work in jewelry. Most of the prettiest gemstones are also very affordable. Tanzanite is a beautiful purple and looks nicer than amethyst. Topaz comes in lots of colors, including a pretty blue color which can be as nice as aquamarine. Opals are not as brightly rainbow-hued as they look in pictures. What is your opinion on moissanite or morganite in place of a diamond? Diamonds are lovely, but price-wise you can get a nicer moissanite. I would go with the latter. Almost every hairstylist gets the heebie-jeebies when we shampoo your hair and you just stare up at us. Close your damn eyes at the shampoo bowl. I imagine dentists and dental hygienists would say the same thing. I close my eyes through most of it, but when I do open them periodically it is highly awkward to see their eyes staring back into mine from a few inches away. Used to screen resumes for small companies. Job requirements are more of a wish list situation. Never let some unchecked boxes deter you from applying. You have no idea what the applicant pool is like. The biggest boon, especially at small companies, is someone who legitimately cares. My company once put out a job vacancy for a position that would assist me in my job. Looking purely at the job requirements, I did not feel that I was appropriate to assist myself in a job I have been doing for 2 years. If you are looking for work and a job seems even remotely like you could do it, apply anyway. It is not like you have anything to lose. There is way more butter than you think in almost every dish you eat at fancy restaurants. And that is usually the reason you would not see the amount of calories in each dish. Source: 5 years as a chef in Italian cuisine, head chef. 8 years in an Italian kitchen. I am a chef in a French restaurant and the only thing dairy-free is one salad and the drinks. Former Bath & Body Works associate here. The scents they discontinue will come back with a different name and new marketing. They're just recycling the scents. I worked for the biggest master company that owns Bath & Body Works and is a division of L brand contractor in Virginia for 8 years. There are so many fragrances that are rebranded and recolored to a different flavor. Fragrance oil is absolutely 100% the most expensive part of any shower gel or foaming soaps we made. Odds are they have hundreds of thousands of pounds of these oils in warehouses all over the US. So they just rebrand it as something else. It's not like they're going to scrap it. Also, all this poop you see on the labels of shower gels and foaming soaps that say enriched with vitamin E or contains aloe vera extract is complete absolute ducking bullshit. We made our batches in sizes of 40,000 pounds. In a 40 klb batch, you had about 2 ounces of vitamin E you would add to the batch, and barely enough aloe extract to even get it out of the ducking cup to add it to the batch. They add the absolute bare minimum to have it on the label, as required by FDA. Foaming soaps are also about 65% water, so they make an absolute killing selling them. Save the foaming soap containers. When they run out, you fill it a third of the way with gel soap, the rest with water. Then gently turn back and forth to incorporate. Voila! New foaming soap. Some therapists counsel us are on the wrong side of the couch, so to speak. If you feel your mental health provider is unhinged, they may very well be. A family member tried to break up with his long-term GF who was a therapist. I was shocked at her absolutely unhinged behavior, which included but was not limited to her taking his childhood teddy bear, chopping it up with garden shears, piling it up on his bed with the note, "This is what you are doing to my heart," stabbed into it with a steak knife. Change your dirty furnace filters and clean your AC coils outside. These make up an easy 30% of my calls for no heat cooling. Edit more attention than I thought. So real quick, you have 2 coils, inside and outside. Your furnace filter keeps the inside one clean, so make sure that filter is clean. Outside coil kill power to the unit. Remove the oil guard and top, usually 5/16 or 1/4 nut driver and like 20 screws. Don't use high pressure water simply on a shower setting and hold it a few inches away from the coil. Do from both ways. Button that beauty up and wait for it to dry before turning power back on. Your head pressures are gonna love you. Edit 2. Don't forget to blow your condensate line more than your husband. Prevents water flowing back into the unit from a block. At Goodwill, 50% of what you donate ends up in the trash. BC we don't have the space for it, or we just deem it too ugly. Our local thrift store has a semi-trailer sized dumpster behind it. They fill it every couple of weeks because most of the crap people donate was garbage to start with. They just did not have anywhere else to dump it, so they donated it. All I am saying is there is a reason no one who works in the RV industry owns an RV. Just some clarification. I work in Elkhart, Indiana, which is the RV capital of the world. As other people have quality as poop on all the major companies. The big ones being Forest River and Grand Design. These 3 companies own probably 90% of all RV companies, so check who owns what you're buying. There are some mom and pop shops that do put out good products, but those are pretty few and far between. Most RVs are junk and come from Indiana. Built in like 7-8 hours. Always go with an outside company in Oregon or somewhere else. Just not Indiana. Thor owns most RV brands too. Total junk. As a software engineer, double your delivery date for a product in anticipation of an overeager project manager trying to get promoted. I always pad the due date and get it done ahead of the deadline. Clients love me. Former aircraft fueler. Do not check your pets in kennels, especially in summer or winter. They are submitted to some very harsh environments. Left on belt loaders in the sweltering heat right next to a running apple that is loud enough to deafen human ears, let alone a dog. Yes, it is terrible. I always feel so sorry for them. American Airlines will destroy your luggage. They get overloaded on cuts, fall off on the way to the plane, and elect it to get run over by tankers and yes, fuelers, and rained on. Then dragged to the edge of the ramp to sit all night while you arrive at your destination and wonder where the heck your bags are. If your departure is delayed, 90% of the time it is us, the fueler. Look out the window to the right side if it is a small plane, left side if it is a really big plane. If there is a truck sitting under the wing, we are the reason you are late. Sorry. Edit. Look guys, I do not know what it is like for the pets on the flight. I have only seen them countless times left in kennels on belt loaders in the hot sun next to an engine. I was a fueler at DFW International for 6 years. I do not have insider knowledge of the airlines beyond my station. I would advise against checking pets if you can help it, but I do not have any advice beyond that. There are some people in these comments that worked for the airlines and have better knowledge. Some years ago, on a flight from San Diego to Chicago, passing the time before disembarking, watching luggage being unloaded from the hold. Suitcases are being thrown around. Then a cat carrier comes down the ramp. Every single baggage handler gathers round to meet the cat, which is carried off carefully. After reading the other comments above you, I got so scared as I was reading yours. I breathed a sigh of relief at the end. The industry-leading software is about at least 10 years old at its core. We had an engineer essentially beg, borrow and steal his own work hours to rewrite an entire facet of our software to be independent of the 8-year-old core we had outgrown 5 years ago. And as soon as he did and wrote a nice utility for testing that was now possible, which means we did not have to spin up so many services in local environments. We got a ton of work in that area of the software. Like I'm still working on it and he's already moved on to another company. The debt he erased and the tool he created. It is like we are 60% better and faster at everything. Plus the morale factor. We would have drowned without that work. We miss you, Mountain. If you are someone who purchases bulk nuts, grains, etc., just know that those bins are probably rarely cleaned. And even when they are cleaned, odds are they were just rinsed out, wiped down to look clean. I used to be a bulk buyer at Whole Foods Market, and when I took over, our bulk department had no cleaning logs or sanitizing procedure. The bins had moths, insect colonies and mold in them. Our store was open nearly 5 years prior. Oh number. The best therapists go to therapy. The cheapest bottle of wine in the restaurant has the biggest markup. And your 6th glass of sangria might actually just be boxed wine with some fruit in it. Very likely that it is made from all the bottles of wine that have been open for a week or two. Thing is, a quality wine is definitely not what you need in a sangria. You'd be surprised how willingly someone will do their job and even go above and beyond if you just compliment them for their professionalism, politeness and how they're helping them. As a cashier, I am not even ashamed to admit that I will do more for you if you tell me I am being helpful. I vetted so many free upgrades, like a large coffee when I asked for a medium, or extra food on the plate from just being super polite and friendly. I go really overboard if the customer in front was being rude as well. It is a win-win. I also don't understand the mentality of talking down to someone who is serving me. I mean, without them, I wouldn't get served. Worked at a department store photography studio owned by a major photography company that you can imagine probably took your school yearbook photos. But the company also is partnered with a popular online photo order website. Notice how quickly we write down a price, strike it out, and write a new price as the deal. Yeah, that is pretty much just the price that everyone gets. We are not doing the math that fast. We have it memorized because almost everyone that comes in has that 40% off coupon. Do not come in without a coupon. There is always a coupon on the website. If you end up paying for sitting fees, it is because you just did not go on our website. Honestly, do not buy our photos. If you just do the session and say that you will buy them online later on said partnered photo order site, it will be cheaper than if you buy them in store that day. Yes, even when we say oh but you would not get this deal online. If you do buy in studio that day, just buy the digital CD of your photos. You get to keep all of them instead of having to pick your favorite 3-4 pictures. Oh, and again, it is way cheaper to take that CD to a photo kiosk and have them printed yourself. Please do not spend $400 on a couple photos that you cannot legally copy when you could have gotten an 80 CD of all the photos and have the copyright to them. Not an industry I work in per se, but I used to be in a sales role. One of my customers was a milk bottling plant. I was somewhat surprised that they were putting the exact same milk in both organic and non-organic cartons. Turns out all of their milk is organic. But in order to not miss out on the sales of non-organic milk, they just bottle them differently and sell them at different prices. This one is both startling and interesting. Construction boy here. If your windows or sliding doors are tough to open and close, 9 times out of 10, we put your own dish soap on tracks and the thing works perfectly. It takes 5 minutes and we charge $150. Dish soap people. It's better than WD-40 sometimes. Literally not 5 minutes ago I was closing the slider in my bedroom thinking it's time I finally look up solutions to make this thing glide easier. So I hopped on the internet. Naturally got distracted by Reddit first. And now here we are. So serendipitous. Amusement park ride operator here. If your kid is crying and you want us to stop the ride, even if we want to, it's not gonna stop immediately. The carousel will spin a few more circles or the ship will swing a few more times before stopping. The only exceptions is the emergency stop, which will absolutely duck up the ride for a while if we press it. Hence we only use it in actual life-threatening situations. The best thing you can do is try to get your kid to calm down as the ride comes to a stop, and no, yelling "stop the ride" just does not make it stop any faster. True. I believe it is called physics.